OPPO's new flagship has landed, and in this video, we'll compare it to the very best Apple has to offer. We'll be comparing the Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max versus OPPO Find X8 Pro. These two smartphones are very different, actually, which isn't probably surprising to many of you. There are several similarities, but for the most part, we're looking at two completely different flagship smartphones. As per usual, we'll first list their specifications, and we'll then move to compare them across a number of other sections. We'll compare their designs, displays, performance, battery life, cameras, and audio output. We'll do our best to give you an idea of what each of the phones has to offer so that you can make an informed decision. With that being said, let's get to it. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is made out of titanium and glass with a bit of aluminum thrown into the mix. The OPPO Find X8 Pro is made out of aluminum and glass. The frame on the iPhone 16 Pro Max is flat, as are the phone's front and back sides. It's not exactly the case on the Find X8 Pro. The frame isn't completely flat, while its front and back sides are micro quad curved. In other words, they have curves on all sides towards the edges, slightly curves. The corners are rounded on both phones, but that curvature is more apparent on Apple's flagship. There's a pill-shaped cutout on the iPhone 16 Pro Max's display, while the display camera hole sits on the OPPO Find X8 Pro's panel. The bezels are both thin and uniform on both smartphones. On the right side of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, you'll find the power or lock and camera control buttons. On the left, the volume up and down buttons are located, and the action key. The OPPO Find X8 Pro has its power or lock and volume rocker keys on the right, along with a camera key. On the left, it includes an alert slider. If we flip them around, you'll notice two rather different camera islands. The iPhone's is located in the top left corner, it's squarish, and it has 3 cameras on the inside. OPPO Find X8 Pro has a circular camera island on the back, which is centered in the upper portion of the phone's backside. There are 4 cameras included in there. Both camera islands do protrude on the back. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is ever so slightly taller and wider than the OPPO Find X8 Pro, which isn't surprising as it has a slightly larger display. The two phones are almost entirely identical in terms of thickness. Apple's handset is 12 grams heavier at 227 grams. The iPhone 16 Pro Max comes with an IP68 certification for water and dust resistance. The OPPO Find X8 Pro is both IP68 and IP69 certified. Both devices are quite slippery though. The iPhone 16 Pro Max features a 6.9-inch 2868 by 1320 LTPO Super Retina XDR OLED display. That panel is flat and it offers an adaptive refresh rate of up to 120 Hz. HDR10 content is supported, as is Dolby Vision. The peak brightness of this panel is 2000 nits. The screen-to-body ratio here is around 91%, while the display aspect ratio is 19.5 to 9. The ceramic shield glass protects this phone's display. The OPPO Find X8 Pro has a 6.78-inch 2780 by 1264 LTPO AMOLED display. That display is flat and it can project up to 1 billion colors. Its refresh rate goes up to 120 Hz, while Dolby Vision is supported. HDR10 Plus content is also supported here, and the peak brightness that this display can offer is 4500 nits in theory. The screen-to-body ratio is around 90%, while the display is protected by the Corning Gorilla Glass 7i. Both of these displays are great actually. They're both vivid, have great viewing angles, and they're more than sharp enough. The touch response is good on both panels, and both of them are well protected. The Find X8 Pro does have a brighter display technically, but both are more than bright enough. If you care about PWM dimming, then the Find X8 Pro's display is definitely a better fit. The Apple A18 Pro SoC fuels the iPhone 16 Pro Max. That is Apple's latest flagship processor. It's a 3nm chip. Apple also included 8 GB of RAM inside of this phone, and the device is utilizing NVMe flash storage. The OPPO Find X8 Pro is fueled by the MediaTek Dimensity 9400 processor. That's also a 3nm chip and a truly powerful one at that. OPPO included up to 16 GB of LPDDR5X RAM here and UFS 4.0 flash storage. Neither phone offers storage expansion, by the way. These two processors are among the best mobile chips out there, along with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. The performance both smartphones offer is outstanding, which is unsurprising actually. They're great when it comes to day-to-day tasks, as the performance is snappy and responsive. Regardless of what you're doing, these two phones will get it done in no time. and chances are it will stay that way for quite some time. With that being said, what about gaming? They're both great in that aspect as well. Both smartphones can run the most demanding games on their respective app stores without a problem. They can actually run them at a very highest graphical settings. Yes, both of them do get warm, even quite warm depending on the game, but that never affected the performance, nor did any of them get too hot to handle. You'll find a 4,685 mAh battery inside the iPhone 16 Pro Max, while a 5,910 mAh battery is included inside the OPPO Find X8 Pro. Don't pay too much attention to the difference in capacity here. iPhones usually have a notably smaller battery than their Android counterparts. Both of these smartphones actually offer outstanding battery life, and that's what matters here, of course. If you're a power user and are looking for a phone that will last a day without a problem, both of these fit the bill. Getting over 7 or even 8 hours of screen on time is entirely possible on both of them. In fact, we've managed to get some truly astonishing numbers from the Find X8 Pro during a recent trip to Bali. The phone managed to provide over 12 hours of screen on time, which was unreal. You can't really go wrong with either one in terms of battery. When it comes to charging, the OPPO Find X8 Pro shames the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It supports 80-watt wired, 50-watt wireless, and 10-watt reverse wireless charging. The iPhone 16 Pro Max supports 38-watt wired, 25-watt MagSafe wireless, 15-watt QI2 wireless, 7.5-watt QI wireless, and 4.5-watt reverse wired charging. OPPO's handset comes with a charger in the box, while the iPhone 16 Pro Max doesn't. There are 3 cameras on the iPhone 16 Pro Max and 4 on the OPPO Find X8 Pro. You'll find a 48-megapixel main camera on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, along with a 48-megapixel ultra-wide unit and a 12-megapixel periscope telephoto camera. The OPPO Find X8 Pro, on the flip side, offers a 50-megapixel main camera, a 50-megapixel ultra-wide unit, a 50-megapixel periscope telephoto camera, and a 50-megapixel periscope telephoto unit. Both smartphones are very capable in the camera department, but do provide notably different pictures. The iPhone 16 Pro Max leans towards more warmer tones, while the OPPO Find X8 Pro attempts to be as close to real-life images as possible, but it also adds a bit of flair to photos. Both smartphones do a great job with HDR content. The OPPO Find X8 Pro does offer a bit more contrasty shots in comparison. In low light, the images from the Find X8 Pro do end up looking a bit more contrasty as the same in daytime. We prefer the balance in low light the Find X8 Pro offered, even though the iPhone 16 Pro Max did a fantastic job. They're basically on the same level when it comes to low-light photography. However, the iPhone 16 Pro Max does have the edge in the video recording department. You'll find stereo speakers on both of these smartphones. Those speakers are actually on the same playing field in terms of loudness, and the same goes for sound quality as well. The output is great from both sets of speakers. Neither phone offers an audio jack, but both do have a Type-C port at the bottom. You can connect your wired headphones that way if you want. If not, Bluetooth 5.3 is on offer from the iPhone 15 Pro Max, while the OPPO Find X8 Pro offers Bluetooth 5.4 support.